then on, though, it was all Swansea, really, after Ozil's goal. I mean, Walcott had a couple of opportunities on the break that he just... I don't know what he was doing. It was really bad.
Well, that one was...
He hit the post, and then he just skied it over the... That was unlucky, but then he just skied it into Rosie.
So my grandfather used to say...
What was he doing?
I could have scored that in my wheelchair. Because he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than those, obviously they're going to get hit on the break a couple of times with the way that they were trying to chase the game. But Borja got his first goal, which was nice to see.
It's helpful.
Barrow was just... He had one of those games that he has every blue moon where you're like, wow, is this guy going to be something someday?
What's that, 10 or 15 minutes after the red card before he went off injured?
Yeah.
He was roasted. Monreal had nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He's actually quite good.
Yeah. And Barrow was doing step-overs and just burning them every time.
And he put in a couple of good crosses as well.
Well, the one for the goal. One for Borja's goal was nice. Just a nice low roller right into his feet. And all he has to do is just touch it, and it goes in the net. Yeah.
But then it was like after... It's that the Sigurdsson chance, and after that was kind of the last chance. That was with 10 minutes left or something.
Yeah, right around the 82nd minute, it just kind of
crappy
died down.
headers.
Yeah, well, a lot of crosses in with no pace on them. That if they were maybe a little bit closer to the goal, or at least, may have caused Czech some trouble.
Or at least the cross is moving towards goal. But if it was coming back, you had nothing to do with that.
Right, they were out swinging crosses, so it was a little bit difficult to put pace on.
The commentator was saying, "Oh, he should have done better with that." And so, well, how? It was just a flat cross.
Yeah,
I think it was that maybe Leroy Fer had a header.
He did, and he tried to put his... You could see when he headed it, he was like, wham! He tried to put as much into it as he could, but it
went straight down the middle.
Yeah.
It's hard to do headers.
Obviously, Key comes on. Why...
The game changer.
He is...
Careful.
The exact opposite of a game changer at this point. He doesn't give a shit whether they go down or not. He's just there collecting a paycheck at this point. Taylor, obviously, awful. So...
There's no need to analyze.
I commented on Twitter. I'm going to say it again. It was said in Wales. If you were listening to the boys at Swansea Till I Die.
We were just stealing my ideas and taking the credit for yourself.
I wasn't. I gave you credit.
I know.
I put a bibliography out there afterwards.
Yeah. After you got the radio mention.
But I just, is there a way that we can somehow handcuff and chain them to like a support pole in the basement of Landor training facility? Is there a way we can, just so that Fernandez, Key, and Taylor can never see the light of day until January, when then we just offload them? Is that possible? Do you think?
Well, I'm sure it's possible, but there might be
some
legal issues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, by all means, try it.
What if I do it? If someone listening will pay for my flight to Cardiff,
no one will.
I will take the train to Swansea and I will kidnap Fernandez, Key, and Taylor and just tie them to a tree in the forest in the hills.
I mean, alternatively, Bob Bradley could just not play him, and then same difference.
Mm-hmm. That's probably a better idea.
Otherwise, you're paying for the train from Cardiff to Swansea, and you're out of pocket probably about £40 by now.
Well, and the return train to Cardiff to get back home. That's a good point, Dave. You're right.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, in any event, your revolutionary is now out in the airwaves. Your revolutionary philosophy, but even if it's that, or if it's even just Kingsley back at left back, Naughton at right back, if Montero can somehow stay healthy, just put him out there. I mean, I know I don't like him that much, but at least he offers more than Routledge. Let's look at that. Let's look at that passing map. Vital Swansea put a nice article out. We're using. I
don't believe I saw Routledge on that map. I think he was just not there.
Well, he was playing in the same position as Taylor.
I know they were on top of each other. They're both trying to hide behind
Which
each other.
Which is exactly where you want your left winger to play. Is right on top of
behind Neil Taylor. You just see them just trying to scrabble around. You go in front. Oh.
But if you go to swansea.vitalfootball.co.uk, there's an article right now that they put out using 11. Is it Tegen 11? Would you call that? I think it's a Dutch. Dutch site.
Yeah, Tegen. Why not?
11 Tegen 11. 11 TEGEN 11, and it's at that same spelling on Twitter. And what he does, or she does, I don't know if it's a he or she, I don't want to assume. But what this person does is they use advanced stats and then basically put on a map of a football field where where they are, where their touches occur,
so
and
then right?
their average position, and then where they're passing and moving, basically. Yeah.
It turns out Kyle Naughton is in fact the Andrea Pirlo of Swansea.
Which is, out of the right back position, I don't know if that's exactly what you want.
Well, you know what I think? I think it's because the centre has to get the ball and they look to the left and they see Taylor and Routledge and they turn around and go, I'll pass it as a right instead.
It's gotta be.
I don't think it's a tactic.
Yeah, it's like they take a couple dribbles this way, whoop, nope.
No.
Here you go, Kyle.
Well, it's gotta be. It must, obviously... you can look at the stats and interpret it, but there must be a human element involved there. And if I saw Neil Taylor or Wayne Routledge, I would not pass to them.
Other than Modou Barrow, who got a few chances because he's basically a one-trick pony. He's a touchline hugger.
He's the outlet.
He's the outlet, so his dot's not very big. But the other dots, the smallest dots on this map, are Routledge, Cork, and Taylor. Right? Am I seeing that right? Actually,
no, Cork's...
actually, they're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
But Routledge and Taylor have the smallest dots, which means no one wants to pass to them.
Mm-hmm. Not even each other, apparently.
And what this also does, as mentioned in this article, is if all you do is attack on the right, look at how much space there is on the left. So the opposition's right to attack down on a counterattack. You're asking for trouble. So they need to find some balance.
Well, of course, because you can see that where the midfielder fellas are, they were all kind of sucked over to the right because that's where the ball is.
That's where the ball is, right.
And that's,
Kyle Naughton is the sun in this game, according to this.
Yep, and Wayne Routledge is Pluto. Good point about solar systems.
And then it talks about the Liverpool game in this map, and it's definitely it's more active, it looks like. Just based on the number of passing arrows and obviously all sorts of passing was going to Borja Baston in that game.
He's getting a lot of angles. Like everyone is trying to hit him.
Right. They're trying to play through him.
Yeah, 4 or 5 guys.
Oh, but again, look at. Oop.
Oh no. It might work.
No.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. It is.
Good chat.
Oh fuck. But again, the biggest dot on the screen is the right back. Everything was going through Rangel in that game. So,
but the second biggest is Naughton.
Is Naughton again.
So
maybe they just like playing through Naughton.
Well, it makes sense though, especially if they're playing against Liverpool, because if these guys are getting the ball, the centre halves, I should say, are getting the ball to the keeper or something, that's where the press is going to come. So that's the quickest, easiest,
that's true.
Option.
Yeah, because this just shows their average position. So if they're touching the ball, it's probably closer to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I mean, if you're playing out from the back, the first pass is probably going to be to the fullback. Yeah, you would think so. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
But you'd want to see more action in the midfield. You want to see guys like Britton and Sigurdsson and touching the ball. You want their dots to be bigger than what they are too.
Dots bigger is great.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Well, you know what I mean. You'd want them to be touching. You want play to be dictated through your best players, and not necessarily just through your fullbacks, which is what these maps are telling us Swansea are doing.
Well, the one from the Arsenal game, it shows how isolated Gylfi was in his unfamiliar role. So
there's nobody around him.
He's just there.
Yeah,
isolated. So
he's having to shuttle back and forth to even try and get the ball.
Yeah. So and that's I mean I don't want to say he's a waste of time out on the wide left or anything, but he kind of is. So you want him getting the ball there, and it's going to be much better when they've got their striker back next week.
Yeah,
I'm assuming Borja will be back.
Yeah, I mean he played 20,
half an hour,
25 minutes.
Just
about. So and if you look at the Liverpool game or the Liverpool map here, if you're following along at home,
and why wouldn't you be?
If they add some wing play into this, you would imagine that obviously in the Liverpool game where Gylfi's position is kind of inside left, so you would imagine whoever's wing is going to be a little bit higher and further to the left. Just you need more balance.
Yeah, and Gilfie would be closer to Borja as well. If
Right, because they're going to be playing off each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it'd be more of like a 4-2-4 setup in possession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Gilfie didn't do terribly on Saturday.
He did. He's not a striker, and he did. I thought he did admirably.
He did fine.
Yeah.
I don't really think he was particularly hurt by Leroy Fer. Didn't really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get the point of him either.
Yeah. I mean, they need balance. You know, I really like our idea, and here's why I like our idea more than people saying Montero needs to start. Montero's not a starter. He's a guy that you bring on when the opposition's right back has been running up and down the touchline for the whole game, and you just send him out there to sprint at him for the final 25 minutes.
So a good time to bring him on would be after Granit Xhaka gets sent off with 20 minutes left to go.
Exactly, but he was hurt, so he wasn't.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He was on the bench.
But
But
that's the scenario.
had he been healthy,
Yeah.
exactly. You bring him on, and you just make their 10 men work. But they didn't have him. But for the next game against Watford, I could see, you don't want to be. I get why people look at Kingsley at left wing and may say he's a defender, but he's really not that good at defending. So you might as well just. But he is good at whipping it across. He's good at passing. He's good at keeping the ball. He's good at being physical, and he is a left back by trade. So he does have some defensive quality to give the fullback some cover.
And if I could defend my point, I
Yes.
guess as well,
Yeah.
I would say he's only 2021.
Right. So he's got the legs.
He doesn't have to be defined as a left back yet.
Right. He can. Yeah. There are plenty of.
He could learn.
There
the
are
role.
plenty of left wingers in general that aren't pacey, but are good wingers because they can whip it across. They're physical. They offer an outlet. They can. This beer is great. You know what I mean? They can hold up the play because they're strong.
Yeah.
But I mean, all you have to do is watch the highlights from the games that he played towards the end of last season and the Newport County game from the
bullshit cup.
the bullshit cup,
Mm-hmm.
the Czech trade cup or whatever the fuck.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Czech. It's like Czech trade.
It's
yeah.
just trading with the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Beer for something.
I don't know. What would you trade Czech Republic for? Sheep's wool.
Well, they want that, do they?
Yeah.
No, why not? Plenty of sheep. Get them shaved.
But the way he whips it across, and we touched on this last week, I mean, Taylor does nothing that Kingsley does.
You could have stopped that sentence after the word nothing.
Yeah.
I've been
He does do nothing. You're exactly right.
He does fill the jersey.
Vital Swansea tries to defend him and say he let's call him Kevin. Kevin tries to defend him and say he did do a decent job defending, but I don't even buy that. I honestly don't. I don't think that he offers right now with the club anything. Anything. And the same goes for Fernandez, the same goes for Key. Those three guys should not see the bench until January, and then we can offload them. That's my opinion. I even say you should have Amat on the bench and just start Van der Horn and Mawson. Why not? What do you have to lose by starting Mawson? Nothing. He can't be any worse than Fernandez, right?
But how old is Matt? Like 24 or something? 25?
Yeah.
Well, he's
25.
He's got time to develop as well. He's pretty young for a
But
second, right? Just let him play.
I know, but we've seen Amat now for 3-4 seasons. We know what he can do. Why not put in a youngster with a lot to prove?
Why not?
And it's the same. Why not give Jay Fulton a shot in midfield instead of Cork or Fair?
Well, maybe.
It's the same scenario.
But Amat and Van der Horn looked all right in their 2 games they played together.
Yeah, they looked a more solid partnership.
So we'll let them have a wee go at it and have most of the initial reserve, and then tell Federico to sling one.
And for now, instead of having Key on the bench, you put Fulton on the bench, or put Cork on the bench and start Fulton. I don't know.
Sell all 3 of them to Sunderland. That's what I would do. They'll take him.
They're looking for shit, right?
Yeah, I imagine so. That seems to be the recruitment policy.
Oh, God. What else happened in the Premier League this week?
There was a non-event yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
People want to say how... there was actually a question about that on the forum. On the Vital Swansea forum.
What are you drinking, by the way? Just grab PBR.
Just grab whatever.
Yeah.
Swans87. Wish I knew your real name, but I'll just call you by your your username.
I can guess what year he was born.
87.